Good morning. Good morning. GM. Folks, welcome to another episode of FOMO HOUR. Today is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Folks, we are off to a violent start in the markets here this morning. CPI came in hot, real hot. Markets didn't like it, started puking. Looks like we're starting to see a rebound. My moon quant says we typically bottom on days of full moons. Guess what? Full moon today. Snow moon. So
who's your moon quant?
Oh, I have a few.
It's not just one?
I've sourced them on crypto Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And,
so this is the new Mariam, that was her name for?
Yes, very similar. So they really first got my attention back on the January dip, and the full moon marked the local bottom in January for the third consecutive cycle. After in the 4-year cycle coming off of a new presidential election, the full moon marked the bottom in January.
Interesting.
And the full moon quants called it, and they're calling bottom today as well. So when my moon quants speak, I listen. So that's I'm ready to go full long. What we don't know is where the bottom is today. So is the bottom already in? Is it going to come later this afternoon? We still have about 15 more hours left to try to figure this out.
Yeah, market definitely didn't like, well, to be fair, the market's just continued the trend it's kind of been on, which it's basically been in a downward trend since the 28th of January, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think today is enough to like freak out at all. Maybe that's like what the overhang was a little bit, but we've kind of had this sentiment from Powell for a bit here. You know, we're going to wait and see, data dependent, no rush to cut rates. I think the market was only pricing in one rate cut this year, up until today. So, and I don't know what it is right now, but this isn't like shocking. Inflation's been going up slightly. It's not like double digits or anything like that, but we're talking about like 3% rather than 2.6%, you know?
Yeah.
So like more of like a manageable increase, let's say. The Bitcoin went down to 95K. That's kind of where it's not really where it's bounced, but like it's seemingly bouncing around 94K here. Obviously the main bit of resistance here would be between 90 and 92K, wherever we've been like wicked into that region, we've bounced fairly aggressively off the back of that. It feels as though we're just kind of in a bit of a no man's land here. Although one thing I did pick up on today is that funding rates have kind of gone negative across the board, or for a lot of assets. A lot of altcoins are being heavily shorted in this market, heavily shorted. You can see it because funding rates are negative. Yeah, pretty much for, I would say 50% of the alts that I'm looking at, funding has gone negative. So particularly in memes, particularly in AI, people are adding to shorts. Yeah,
that feels like the consensus that I see on the timeline. So what could go wrong when everyone piles in short after 80 to 90% drop?
Right, that's what I kind of mean. It's like I definitely think that's a risky bit of the market to be piling into shorts for. And I think one good piece of news, as we kind of saw with ARK and AI16Z and Farokh yesterday, like you can get big wicks. So my general sense is if we see some stability here, and I don't think Bitcoin's going to go that much lower here. I think you'll see a decent bounce today. I actually do. Like I'm buying today because I think that this is a little bit of a local bottom.
Maybe Mando is my new moon quant, folks. You heard it here first. He's aligned with the literal moon boys.
I'm aligned with the moon boys. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I want to get into your market report here in a minute. We'll definitely talk about that today. We're going to talk about Trump appointing crypto-friendly Quintins for the CFTC chair. Jason Calasanis wants the SEC to ban meme coins. Hester Peter says, no way. She loves freedom, and the SEC isn't touching meme coins. So rough day for Jason. The Trump family, WLFI, has rolled out macro strategies. So we'll talk about that. Dave Portnoy's roller coaster continues, and Choose Rich Nick claps back. We might have to play the diss track later on. Big day for Myriad, and there's a few meme and NFT headlines. There is a lot to get into. Before we do, shout out to our partners. First, Galaxis. Galaxis is a Web3 platform empowering creators and brands to build unstoppable communities with full ownership and independence, trusted by icons like Donald Trump, Steve Aoki, Mike Tyson, and the NBA, shaping together the future of engagement. And every day, we see people's wallets get drained. Fairside is about to launch the fair alternative to insurance for crypto scams. Check out at Fairside Network on X. If you get drained, you won't get wrecked. We love our partners. Shout out to them. All right, Mando, let's get into it.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
GM, everyone. So I think we kind of just went into a little bit of a brief overview there, but core inflation came in 0.2% above expectations. Inflation came in 0.1%. We are around 3% inflation, down from kind of 2.5%, 2-ish towards the back end of last year. The majority of the inflation seems to be coming from shelter. I don't know. Like, I don't think the Fed's going to do anything on the back of this. Like, 3% is not won't make them cut rates, but it's definitely not that aggressively higher than their like long-term average. The long-term average for inflation is like 2.6%. So like we're just kind of hanging around that sort of level. It'll be, I think the main way the Fed would turn on QE is if like these high rates cause some sort of stress in the economy. Because for now, it just feels like inflation is going to stay a little bit sticky around this 2 to 3% area for a little bit here. The market didn't like it. Well, it hadn't been liking it for a while, right? Ever since I guess late to mid Jan, we've been in this kind of downward trend. This kind of takes us back to sort of the levels that we saw about 10 days ago on that wick lower. But I do think the market's starting to look a little bit oversold here, or like I'm starting to see some. I would say this is starting to look like exhausted sellers sort of market. Like I don't that sort of a figure that we saw isn't really isn't going to change the needle much for me. So if things are getting absolutely smacked on the back of it, I think that's the sort of market where I would look to buy. So that's what I'm doing today, in case you're wondering. There was very little in terms of majors news, apart from like it looks like we're heading closer and closer to ETFs across the board. Solana, the SEC has asked for public comments on a bunch of different Sol ETFs, so people getting bullish that could happen relatively soon. It sounds like they're going to be acknowledging the XRP ETF tomorrow as well. There is in terms of the states, it looks like Oklahoma has got some sort of vote on the floor around this Bitcoin policy. There's 22 states which all are trying to push towards a Bitcoin reserve at the moment. So we're going to hear lots and lots of headlines around each individual state, but it does feel as though some of them are getting relatively close. Powell was kind of similarly, I wouldn't say bullish, but less aggressive towards crypto. He said, look, we're going to investigate the debanking. We don't want to have a CBDC. And he said we should get stablecoin regulation, which is kind of what's seemingly has been happening more recently. So he seems to be less aggressive towards crypto, which is a good move. And it does look like, interestingly, one of the A16Z executives is going to take a position at the CFTC. So pretty decent role there, or decent change from Gensler to someone from A16Z. In terms of macro stocks, they've been a bit of a holding pattern too. The main thing is like Tesla's been going lower, Meta's been going higher, so there's been a bit of a changeover there. But and the dollar has gone a little bit stronger today. But like again, it's they've been kind of treading water for a couple weeks now as well. The only real like mover to pay attention to has been gold, but that's down a little bit today. So not much happening on macro either. At least not to say that like, oh my God, Bitcoin should be down like 50% in this sort of environment. It does looks like stocks are down like 1% in the US, or like less than 1%, 0.5 to 1, depending on the index. And then in Europe and Asia, they're down like very, very slightly. So yeah, not. I don't think the market is generally freaking out over QE here either, the broader market. On the left curve stuff, yesterday again was more quiet than the previous few days. Fewer like daily runners, and it feels as though maybe JL still continues to be like the main token in terms of volume, which just surprises me. Like 3 or 4 days after launch, but obviously there was this competition for a hype video, and then you had the Choose, or is it Choose Rich? What does he call himself now?
Yeah,
Choose Rich Nick. Like this video. Other than that, like as I looked through, there was this very few. I've seen some like light commentary that BNB is starting to see activity pick up again. There was a runner yesterday on BNB. We obviously had 2 tokens last week that were listed by Binance, Test, and I forget the name of the other one, but maybe we see a bit of a, if Binance can be more aggressive on their listing procedures, maybe we'll see something there. You don't really know. And as you kind of said, Hester Pierce seemingly has said meme coins are likely to be free game. So I think people felt a little bit bullish about that sector for crime or otherwise. But yeah, I would say this has been the quietest day that I've done the minutes in a while.
Yeah. It was a nice recap. Maybe we can work backwards. So I've been seeing the BNB meme chatter as well. Interestingly, it's from kind of the somewhat adjacent crew who is aggressively rotating as it is. So I don't know. I'm kind of in the indifference camp right now towards memes. I'm a fairly active meme trader, but like I didn't trade yesterday, and it felt kind of refreshing. And I look at the Solana board this morning, and I don't feel like I missed anything. And I hear chatter that okay, some folks are grinding on BNB. That's great, but that also just kind of feels like a trap. Like we saw that with like the Tron memes. We've seen it before. I know like BNB had a meme season in 2021. People keep reminding us about that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we've got crazy volumes over here. Like the leaders are doing 20 to 40 million. Captain BNB clearly the winner, up 100%.
I bought a new meme for the first time in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
bought this relaxed dog thing.
You did.
Because my sister sent me the meme and was like, it sent me the meme in one of our group chats, which I then used as a meme. Yeah, this, I don't know. I just vibe with this dog, man. I was like, I actually like this. I miss the days where you see a meme, you like a meme, you buy the meme. Do you know what I mean? It was like, oh, this is actually a good, like, do you know what I mean? It felt good to be like, I'm in this coin because I like that dog, rather than which pump and dump fucking KOL is in this one, or which celebrity is going to come in and launch a coin, or internet capital markets. This just felt like a bit more pure as a meme to me. So
what's funny? So I'm laughing because like I have buddies in my trading group who bought this, and I was like telling them not to because it was the same.
No.
It was the same KOLs who've been like, so literally, I'm going to call Wiz out here. Wiz has been pounding the table, telling everyone that they need to aggressively rotate and not hold any more than an hour. And then last night he buys the relaxed dog and says, no, I'm going to hold this one. I'm just going to relax and hold this meme.
That's the point. It's just, there's something about this at this time of juncture where I was like, you know what? I quite like this. Like, very, very chilled. Just it gave me chill guy vibes. So
chill guy vibes. Just incredible things.
Chill guy, which went down to like fucking zero. But like that was the first time I was like, this is a meme I like. Why can't we just buy memes that we like anymore?
That's where we started. That's what we were
Exactly.
supposed to do.
And I can't. It was interesting. I saw a tweet from Dees yesterday, which was, who's a director of vibes in his time. He says something like, the ebb and flow of rotate out of this bag ASAP and believing in something is natural. When everyone is doing one thing and it becomes common knowledge as the most plus EV strategy, usually a decent time to look on the opposite side of the spectrum. So I think what he's saying there is if everyone is doing the hyper rotation, maybe it's time to buy some stuff that you like.
Wow.
You vibe with a little bit more. And I kind of felt when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I think I kind of agree with that too. Like if you like the vibes of a project, maybe that'll be the runner. So that's why I bought it as well. Maybe
Relax is gonna make it here. Oh, it was a good sales pitch for sure.
It's just a dog, to be clear, which looks like it's chilled out. But my sister, who's big on TikTok, sent it in our family WhatsApp chat.
Incredible. Well, we're happy to hear that you are back in the trenches. Maybe I want to pull back a little bit. Appreciate your commentary. You kind of said that you feel like the bottom is in. You said you're bidding.
I'm buying today for sure. This is crazy.
What are you bidding?
I bought a decent amount of JLP again yesterday. I bought some Farokh. I'll buy bags which will remain nameless, and Radium. I bought a decent amount of. So just stuff which I like. I'm not bearish today. If someone's telling me we're about to go down to 92K because of QE, you should sell all your high risk stuff. Like, I don't think that's what's happening today. And I think the people who are doing that are the ones who've lost 90% on that coin or like have been wrecked and are now trying to like get that last gasp of a 3 to 4% move in Bitcoin. And actually they can get their faces ripped off because everyone's short, seemingly. Like you can see it. You can see with negative funding across a bunch of altcoins, like you can bounce quite aggressively. But
yeah, well, I like that. I think a lot of these, like Radium, looks like it's kind of been tapping off of this level. So that feels like a decent entry. What jumps out to me, I'm looking for the pump fund stats here. Like anecdotally, like I look at the Solana board and it feels like the trenches are kind of a ghost town. Like there's a handful of runners per day. They're not even going that high. And then I pull up the stats, and we're effectively at all-time high launches still. Like we're not low off top, but we're still at 50,000 tokens being launched per day. And it's like I'm like disconnected from this sector of the market at this point, because if you would have asked me like my gut feel how many tokens are launching today, I would have said we're back to 10 to 20,000. Like we're back down here, but like that's clearly not the case. So there's clearly like these syndicates out there. I'm seeing more chatter about this. Maybe this is tinfoil hat. Maybe I'm out of my bag here, but that these syndicates are effectively just industrial pump fund launchers at this point, and the data kind of backs that up, right? Like, how are there 50,000 tokens launching per day right now? Like there's no buyers for these, but like where I'm going,
though, that's the point. Like people just play the daily runners. Like there's no one wants to hold anything else. All the money that was in all the other Solana meme coins is just now in Sol or stables, right? This is the reason why it just doesn't feel like the top to me. Bitcoin is not falling out of bed. Like it's just hanging out around 100K. Stablecoin supply just keeps on going higher, and like you said, like all the different metrics around activity are staying really high. So like DEX volume has stayed high.
Yeah, active
addresses have stayed very high. And new launches of meme coins have stayed very, very high. So what we've just seen is just like a rejigging of where people want to hold value. That's all it is, at least in my opinion.
So we're not at indifference. The trenches are not indifferent right now. That's not what the data is telling us.
No, the trenches are active, right?
Yeah, they're incredibly active. Is this our new normal? Like, do you think we revisit August, September lows for coin launches per day, 10,000 per day? Or do you think we're just in a new paradigm where the the minimum threshold is just higher now for the foreseeable future.
I think the minimum threshold is higher. That's what I think. I do think that what Dee's said there makes sense. Like, it's now consensus to sell everything, you know?
Yeah.
And the people playing that, I think, can get, may not see the best returns even now, because it really is just a case of hot potato for an hour. And I actually think some of them like Dee's might make quite a lot of money in a market like this, because it'd be like, if he can pick a good vibes project, or like there's an artist come through and does an artist coin, or what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a coin which
it's always like zagging when everyone is zigging. Like that's the only way to hit the big wins. Like, you're never going to hit the big win trying to catch the runner of the day when everyone when all the pros are doing the exact same thing as you.
Just relax, dude.
Relax coded. We'll see if this damn pain token comes at any point. That we are, as the days slip by, I think we are more and more at risk of time rugging the relevancy of this pain meme.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like, if the trenches turn around and are no longer in pain, I don't know if it's going to perform as well.
Look at the market.
What happened?
Bitcoin back to unchanged on the day. Everything's going, boys.
We like that.
We are back.
When I looked at stocks right before the show opened, it looked like everything basically gapped lower on the open, and it was just going straight back up. So, like, just like you said, like, this CPI really wasn't much of a headline to get worried about. So we're buying today, folks.
We're buying today.
Boy, does it feel good. All right, let's see what else is going on. So we had Cal Sanis. If folks aren't familiar with Jason, he's been kind of like a foil for the broader crypto space, I'd say, for several years now. I think he's the one who famously told everyone, if you're in crypto, pivot to AI. Effectively at the bottom. He did the All In podcast with Sachs, who is now our crypto czar. I think Sachs is officially off that pod. I think he came back.
He's on. He's on like as a guest kind of most weeks. Like, he comes up like an hour or half an hour or something.
Got it. So
I do watch that pod. It's good.
Oh yeah, it's a very good pod. It's a long conversation. They got a little propaganda-y in 2024. It became a very political show.
Very political
show. Still, in general, good macro show. But now we have to listen to what Jason says a little bit more, because he's in Sachs's ear. Even though Sachs is probably just going to dismiss him, but he says, just ban these stupid fucking meme coins.
To be clear, he said that live on the show last week. David Sachs came on and he said, you're going to regulate all these meme coins.
And so what'd Sachs say?
No. It's actually a really good show, because David Sachs does come on there and actually just speaks about government policy around crypto and AI each week. Nice. So he gave a really detailed description of what happened with the whole press conference that he did. Like, why it was needed, that those 4 heads, it's so weird that there are 4 different heads, including like the Agricultural Commission or whatever it is, that need to be involved in this. And he said, like, before him being involved, it's been impossible to get them all to agree that we need to push crypto forward. Like, one of them was always like, no, we don't want to do it. So that's why he said it was such a big deal, because if you're not in Washington, you don't get that, like, it's just been impossible to get cohesive policy where everyone's trying to push in the same direction. And he even spoke candidly. Like, I know people maybe were expecting, a bigger announcement that we were going to do some sort of Bitcoin reserve there. Like, because he is now the crypto czar and he speaks very candidly on that show each week, you should tune into it, because you're going to get a much better, clearer picture of what he thinks. And he pushed back on Jason. He said no. He basically said no for that question.
That's a good tip. Well, I'll definitely get back into my weekly listening. I'd fallen out a little bit. I didn't realize Sachs was still making so many appearances. So
he dropped out completely for a couple of weeks, but now he generally comes back on.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be must listen every week. It is funny to see Cal Sanis just continuing to double down on this. It's also funny that Hester Pierce, I don't know if I have the article up.
Why does he care? Genuinely, why does he care? Like, the one bit about crypto where literally everyone gets, right, that it's just, as Hester Pierce says, you guys are adults. If you want to play in this market, that's for you. You know, we're not going to come in and protect you. So like, just have that response. Don't be like, we need to ban them. Just like, that's the response. You want to play in this market, you can lose everything. You can lose everything and nobody's there to save you.
You know what was even funnier is just hours after that, he's retweeting a parlay card that he lost.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's firing up 16-1 long shot bets, 20-1 long shot bets, and happy to tout that. Wow, just a few hours after saying we need to ban the meme coins.
Yeah.
So, Jason, we're not going to take you seriously. It was funny, just the timing that Hester Pierce also said that she loves freedom and the SEC is not even going to be looking over meme coins in the same day. It looks like that will be likely under the CFTC if they pick it up. And now we've got the head of A16Z crypto policy, Brian Quinten's heading that up. So we will certainly see what that means for the meme coin market. I think the other piece of big news was out of Trump's World Liberty Fi. Yes, I think we got to briefly touch on this. So they announced their own macro strategy. So Saylor has retired MicroStrategy, and the Trump brothers are now picking up with MacroStrategy. They're effectively launching their own token reserve, strategic token reserve. They name dropped Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then they left the door open for other cryptocurrencies. They've said why they're doing it: to enhance the stability of their protocol, foster DeFi growth, help build trust with their community, that they are effectively aligned with bag holders. And they're also, the second part of this is their partnership with traditional finance institutions and bringing real world assets, tokenized stocks, securities, bonds on chain, which was, if we think back to when World Liberty Fi launched, that was the original vision, was real world assets. I won't even say like going into real estate. It seemed like their vision was they wanted to do real estate on chain, and they were kind of using DeFi as the path to get there. At least that was my read. And then we've kind of gotten thrown off with them, you know, in the past couple months, just actively buying and accumulating crypto tokens. But it looks like they're doing both. So they're building up their reserves, Bitcoin, ETH, others. You can kind of see, you can go through and look at what other tokens they hold. A few RWA tokens like Ondo is in there. Aave, a few of the DeFi tokens as well. And now they're partnering. They're going to continue this partnership to bring real world assets on chain. So I don't know. It feels like pretty positive momentum, a positive update. Did you have any read on this, Mando? Does it matter that they have their own strategic token reserve?
Yeah, for World Liberty Financial, I've since the start I've been less kind of bullish on that entity in general. It just kind of feels slightly griftery, like they're just trying to do whatever they can to make money. And it's like Trump adjacent rather than like Trump. Feels like, oh yeah, we're going to try and do DeFi. Oh, that didn't work. We're going to do this. Like, and now they're doing a MicroStrategy style, but MicroStrategy works because they borrow billions and billions of dollars. I don't know if World Liberty Financial is going to be able to do that. And seemingly they have like a you scratch my back, I scratch your policy where like people have to come in and buy their token for them to buy the coin, which sounds like bribery almost, to just like get a political endorsement of a coin. So I'm not well, Liberty Financial for me just feels kind of on the edge of grift. They might like they're kind of legitimate because it was Trump, but if it wasn't Trump, then it'd be like, yeah, who the hell are these guys?
Well, they wouldn't have been able to complete the raise if it wasn't for the Trump meme coin launch. Right.
You know what I mean? And they launched it just after the Trump meme coin. Like it just feels like a kind of a bit of a slush fund for the Trump sons there.
That's fair. I do wonder if there's any signal in the assets they're buying, which perhaps might be included in a reserve or a sovereign wealth fund.
You think that though? I feel like maybe that does mean that. Like, but again, that just kind of feels it feels as though their policy is explicitly like, you buy our coin, we'll buy yours.
Yeah. That part's not great.
It just isn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how you get your asset on the US like reserve list. I don't know. I would like to think that David Sachs is quite separate to that, but
yes, I think the sovereign wealth fund is probably where you would have a better bet, because that feels like it's a little less overseen, perhaps.
Yeah.
But again, we'll see a few other headlines as we look to round this out. Tighter show here today. You mentioned Jail Stool, quite the rebound for Portnoy's token.
Yeah, wow! Look at that. I didn't realize it got back up to 82. He's done very well in keeping people's attention. It's the crash game. It's the crash game. Let's see what happens.
And then he fudged one of his trades yesterday. He basically lost like 200K in slippage.
Right.
So this isn't pumping because he's just buying it all himself. A part of my core thesis going into this was that the longer it lasted with him continuing to talk about it, the more bullish / Lindy it would be. And of course, Lindy is tongue in cheek here. It's 4 days old meme coin ran by Dave Portnoy, but it does feel like the market is kind of responding to that. I think there was always concerns the first day or two. Is he just going to sell this? Is he just going to abandon it? And every day that he talks about it more, it seems less likely on each of those points. We got to quickly show the Choose Rich clapback video. Probably won't play the whole thing, but Nick did do a diss track aimed at Dave. Let's see if we can play it. I gotta give him credit. A+.
We couldn't hear that, by the way.
You couldn't hear that?
No, I think the space could, but we couldn't.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I would have cut it sooner. Apologies to anyone who couldn't hear that in the stream. Nick and Dave's beef basically started like 2 or 3 days ago. So he turned around the video in 2 days. So very well done, well produced. Still got me on a handful of those lines. I love PO weighing in. So it was good. We'll see if Dave claps back here today. He may not care. He might just be watching his wallet balance go up as Jail Stool continues to grind up. So it's still kind of the leading attention coin. Again, it led volume on Solana yesterday. We'll see if anything is able to displace it. Maybe it's relax. Who knows? This Duo coin tied to Duolingo got to like 10 million. There's not really a whole lot else going on in these streets. The AI tokens. So we could pull up quickly, look at the AI board. I think it was mostly chop or some dip from yesterday. Let's see. Farokh holding up at 52 cents. ARK 280 million down from local highs, down about 10 to 15%. AI16Z is down a little bit more. So I think the next couple of days are going to be very interesting on these AI tokens to see, like, do we really have new bottoms in, or are these still pretty shaky or not? And I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic that perhaps we put bottoms in on something. How's Sol doing? Sol's back at 193.50. All right. So I think as long as Sol's up over 190, I think these should be at least all right. Where we get things get dicey is if Sol goes back to sub 185, 180. I think that's where we probably revisit bottoms on some of these tokens.
That feels like a good level to consistently try and buy Solana here, if I'm honest.
180.
Yeah, around that level, I reckon.
Makes sense. This MLG, were you following some of the drama with Aiden Ross and Frank D Gods?
Yeah, but I mean that's been drama for a while, though. No, well, I thought that he like tweeted out like the day afterwards, like basically being like, "This guy dumped on me." I don't know. Did he dump? Like somebody told me that someone had sent me like wallets, but like I have no idea.
Frank said he didn't. I think most people think he didn't, but I think it was on Aiden Ross's stream yesterday or the day before that. He was kind of calling Frank out, saying he doesn't vibe with him, and clearly he's not happy with the price action of MLGs. I think
he's just not happy with the price action. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like if the price is high, probably still he wouldn't care. But I think
what Thread Guy said was probably the right thing. Like you don't buy they shouldn't have made him buy it on stream. Like it just created this like weird event for that token. I still like that coin a lot.
I was going to ask if you still like it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's lost some of its luster.
Well, obviously because the price is lower, but I also think the vape cabals, you know, they're getting a lot more flack than what they did. But I do think that I look for coins like that where it's like there's a different audience. You know, it's a different audience. Like UFD, for example, would be another good example of that, right?
Yeah.
This one feels like a bit more of a, you know, like after the Deb lost his UFD, it's tough for him to continue to be involved and keep his audience engaged. But this one feels like quite seamless that a gaming audience could stay involved.
It feels like it needs to go back to its like core gaming audience and a little bit less of like this is the FaZe Banks Aiden Ross vape cabal coin.
Yeah.
And if it does that, then I think it can probably be strong again. We'll see. And maybe it's a buy. It's down 75% now from highs. Right. Those are typically decent buy zones if you have been patient in eyeing this one.
There's only one other coin doing gaming meme coins, you know.
Yes.
So, small niche of coins.
It's a tight family.
It's a tight family. So I'm definitely with those guys. I think they can do well.
We will root for them. Let's see other news. So Myriad, shout out to the Myriad team here. First USDC market officially goes live here today. I think it may actually be live. So
Pengu, not USDC.
Oh, sorry. First time you can bet with real capital and not just points. It's not USDC. It is the Pengu token. This will be tied to this Diamond Hands poker event. It looks like ours truly, Farokh versus Luca. That's going to be the bet here. So you're able to predict who wins between Luca and Farokh.
Does Farokh play poker? I don't think I've ever heard him say. Like never. I don't think.
So Farokh's 46%, Luca's 54%. I feel like I might have to apologize to our host here. I feel like my money is going to be on Luca on this one. What do you think?
I mean, Farokh is a ferocious gambler, so my guess is he'll go all in quite early on, and maybe the luck's with him, maybe it's not.
I can see that.
I can add you a little bit more context here, just because we're drip feeding information this week. There should be 6 or 8 markets out by Saturday. We're going to be slowly revealing all the players. There are some degenerate gamblers, big degenerate gamblers that are going to be in this. Some more commonly known faces and names that you'll know that have performed in other poker events and poker tournaments that people have seen before. There will be a professional player in there that's pretty big within the scene. There'll be a variety of bets. We'll have a lot of head-to-head and PvP style stuff, KOL versus KOL, if you will. And then we'll have some fun things like will anyone pull a 4 of a kind, for example. But it's pretty big for the business. It's the first time we've ever allowed, real money markets, if you will. This is the first step towards USDC. And yeah, it was amazing to see all the systems firing off this morning. Bets have been placed. We're almost up to 100K wagered on Pengu. You can see at the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, nice.
But by Saturday, this will be all streamed on Abstract as well. This is in partnership with them and Sopo. By Saturday, so you have 6 to 8 markets on here. You'll know all 8 players that are going to be playing in this. And yeah, people just give someone they can chuck the Pengu at.
When is the game? So the market closes at 1700.
Saturday, 12 o'clock. I believe it's on the video and on the graphics.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So folks will be able to watch this live on.
They're going to be able to stream it on Abstract, and then they'll be streaming Myriad markets as you put it in their banner and header, and then people will just be able to go and bet and have a crack and see if you can win any money.
So folks need to be on Abstract on the Myriad site. They need to have some Pingu in their wallet to be able to wager.
Correct.
All right. Well, folks, you heard it here first. If you want to get some action down on Myriad's inaugural market to be here for the beginning, Farokh versus Luca, choose your fighter. You will be able to get in on that. Whew, I'm going to bet. I will for sure be betting on this one here later today. I think that's it. I think we went around the horn. As you said, it's been a little bit of a quieter week. I feel like we started January with off to like a manic start.
Yeah, it's definitely slowed.
But things are slowing down a little bit. So folks, start to rest up a little bit. Get everyone keeps talking about how tired they are. I see that on the timeline. Everyone's so tired. Yeah. Rest. Gear up for the continuance of this golden bull run that might revive any day now. We'll see. My moon quant called bottom. Mando called bottom. I'm going to listen to him. I think we're going to end up higher here later today. We will talk about it on, no show tomorrow. I'm out. Yeah. Mando is out. I think the direct event is happening in Paris. Good luck with that. That is going to be a fun one. And we will be back on Friday. I'll be back with Logan back on the show for the first time in a few months. We might try to get a special guest as well. But as for today, that is it. That's going to be our show. I want to thank our listeners. I want to thank our partners. We will be back on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Till then, go make it a great day. Goodbye.